Over the years, there have been many fighter interviews that were extremely awkward. A lot of times this is due to the interviewer saying something they shouldn't, but sometimes it comes down to the fighter. So in this video, we'll take a look at some of the most heated interviews of all time, starting off with Colby Covington. We all know that Colby plays his over-the-top character, so it's no surprise many of his interviews have gotten pretty feisty over the years. Just like the time he told reporter John Morgan he won't answer his question unless he does 10 push-ups.
I'm just curious how you manage that, especially against the guy that you clearly don't like. How do you manage those emotions on fight night to change the result this time around?
Jon, you were getting real slick with me yesterday. You're a clickbait merchant. You were saying I was undeserving and didn't deserve to be up here. Well, guess what? You're undeserving of getting an answer from me. If you want an answer from me, get down and give me 10 push-ups right now. Get on your hands and knees. What? What a question. 10 push-ups, flabby butt.
His standoffish nature began because Colby wrongly thought that John Morgan had suggested he couldn't beat Usman. Initially, it was a bit of a joke, and Morgan definitely saw the funny side. But Colby maintained his stance across numerous different interviews over many, many months.
I'm a man of my word, Jon. 10 push-ups if you want to answer for me.
It's tough, man. I've only got one lung, so it's a challenge for me.
You got to get it down and at least try.
Quick turnaround, Colby. Is that just for Jorge, or would you have done that against anybody? Is it important to get back and fight, or was it just because of this opportunity?
Do you think I'm joking or what? I'm serious, flabby butt. You got to get down and give me 10 push-ups.
All right, fair enough, Colby.
And Morgan actually joked back about the time Colby boasted about having a second lung in his response.
Yeah, I don't get tired. You know, a lot of people, they call me the cardio king for a reason. I got a second lung, you know?
In the end, it kind of turned into bullying, lost whatever humor it had, and felt weird.
It's weird to me because I don't know if it's sincere or not. I figured out that I think he thinks along the way at some point that I said that he's not deserving of a title, which I've never said whatsoever. So I don't know if he just got confused and it's sincere, or if it's part of the gimmick. I don't know. I don't find it as entertaining the third time, and like, so now what, next fight week I got to hear it again. Like, I don't really find it that entertaining, but I mean, I got to keep doing my job, you know what I mean? So if this is what we're going to do every time for the rest of his career, then I guess this is what we're going to do every time for the rest of his career.
Just like how Colby interviews are guaranteed drama, so are Conor McGregor's. Like the time he and the pink suit guy reporter got into it before his trilogy fight with Dustin.
You have won exactly one fight since Barack Obama was president.
Go your mouth, I'll go down and smash your nose.
Conor, over a fighter
smash your nose.
The pink suit guy, whose real name is Josh Cohen or JC, was asking McGregor what difference there would be considering Poirier had knocked him out in the fight prior. But his gimmick was essentially antagonizing fighters at press conferences to get reactions out of them. And it definitely worked here.
You little rabbit thing. Someone
This
smack
man
him.
sent you to a place where time doesn't exist 6 months ago. We want to know, why should anyone expect anything different on Saturday?
It's one more fight I won than your little sissy ass, you little fanny pad.
Why should we expect anything different on Saturday? Conor, in all sincerity, why would it be any different on Saturday?
We don't really see too much of pink suit guy anymore, yet for a short while, he was an instantly recognizable media member. But while this incident was purely verbal, here's a time where it got physical. It involved Nate Diaz and a reporter from Full Send MMA, which is owned by the Nelk Boys. And the story began before the two met, where the reporter made a meme of this clip, where Nate Diaz said his training partner and then UFC fighter Nick Maximoff would fight Hamzat.
Hey, Hamzat, if you in there, don't be a bitch. My boy's right here, fight him. We're talking my name, and anybody in there.
It looked like Nate's friend didn't look too keen at the idea of taking on that fight, which was of course what everyone pointed out, the Full Send journalist included. So when he and Nate came face to face backstage at UFC 276, it got heated.
Stockton's finest, Nate Diaz, is coming to check out Sugar Sean, right?
Nah, man, I'm telling you what you feel about my negative positive.
And only Nate Diaz could slap someone and have them say thank you for it.
And that was basically my way of saying, well, whatever's coming to me right now, I deserve. Yeah, obviously I got pushed and stalked and slapped, and I do want to say thank you to Nate Diaz, because I'll tell you right now, Gilbert Melendez was there, Jake Shields was there, and if Nate Diaz really wanted to, he could have fucked me up. But I think it was just his way of saying, hey bro, you know, you gotta watch your mouth, because now you're in the big leagues with the big guys.
And in this next clip, another not-so-clever reporter had to run out of the arena to avoid getting another Nate Diaz slap. It was a pre-fight press conference for his boxing match with Jorge Masvidal, where YouTuber and streamer Neon first asked a regular question, but he then asked Diaz if he'd retire when he got knocked out.
Second question I have for you today, man, is when you do get knocked out, are you gonna retire?
Who said that? So I know who you are.
Or if...
Boy, you fucking fuck.
If you do. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be watching. I'm excited to see both sides, but
I'm gonna kick you in your leg, motherfucker. Hey, P.S. you.
Neon tried to dial his comments down, but of course Nate Diaz wasn't having any of it.
I have a lot of respect for everyone, man. It's just I want to see a great
fuck you. When you get knocked out, right? It's little kids like this little talking in this motherfucker that is like changing the times. Need your little ass whooped. I got little girls over here that'll you up.
The press conference ended, and that was seemingly it. But when leaving the building, the reporter was chased by someone presumably from Diaz's team.
Okay, wait, car, get in the car.
Yes, go.
I'll call Masvidal. Just get in the car. I'm sorry.
Luckily for Neon, he didn't get caught, but he sure learned a lesson not to mess with UFC fighters, and definitely Nate Diaz that day. And while we've picked a few fighters notorious for their drama, here's a reporter who got picked on a little too much. Enter Ariel Helwani. Over the years, he's been central to a few wild interviews, starting with the infamous Jason Mayhem Miller clip.
To be honest with you, I want to be honest with you. Ma'am, you know, man.
Yo, bro,
okay.
You know what? You guys fucking have your stupid internet radio show in your mom's basement.
That's it? You're going to do this?
Yeah, you saw what I'm doing.
Ma'am, this is not
hey, you
Andy Kaufman.
Stop calling me Mayhem.
Okay.
For context, Mayhem decided to act like his character, Lucky Patrick, that he played in the film Here Comes the Boom throughout the entire interview.
My name is Patrick.
Yeah, I've seen this on Twitter.
What? Oh, you see my tweets? I don't even know if anybody's reading them. I don't know how to check the replies.
Lucky Patrick has taken over the Mayhem Miller account.
Yeah. I'm here to promote my movie. Here Comes the Boom. I'm the writer, director, star. I let Kevin James take a lot of the credit for most of that stuff, but I'm Lucky Patrick.
Ariel obviously wanted Mayhem to talk normally, so they could discuss his career, but it wasn't happening.
Bro, do you need to take notes? No. You got all your toys all laid out like a fanboy. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
That's Ray Longo.
What do you wipe up with this?
Can we talk to Mayhem?
Call him. You got his number?
Okay, can we call him? What's his number?
You want me to give it out on the internet?
No.
It's like, well, all 7 people watching this, all 7 people watching this are gonna call him, and then what?
Is it the
He already kicked me out of the house.
He stormed out of the interview early, and when Ariel tried to talk to him outside on the street, Mayhem refused to come out of character.
And even when I tried to talk to him outside, with no one there, he just kept, doing his thing, didn't stop and talk to me. So I'm all right. I apologize for that. I was not frightened or anything, but it hurts to see someone act that way.
And while Ariel and Mayhem have had an interesting relationship over the years, another fighter he's always been close with, and sometimes too close with, is Quinton Rampage Jackson.
Come on, but look at he's scrawny. Look at his neck. Look how scrawny that neck. Look at that little bit. I could choke this. Look at that neck. I'm alpha. Look at my neck. Look at his neck.
The two have always had a pretty unique relationship, where Rampage essentially insults and mocks him, usually as a joke.
Sorry, man.
Made fun of my name. You called me the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, the Little Mermaid. You look like No, you don't look like the Little Mermaid. She was beautiful. You ugly as hell, but.
Now you'll never forget the mermaid. You'll never forget. Man, those are some hard punches, man. Damn.
I remember you now, Eric. You cool, man. I remember you, man.
All right, well, let me get you fired up.
But on a couple of occasions, it's felt like Rampage has been genuinely annoyed.
And I don't know what it is, but I've also heard from my peoples that you've hated on me before on your show.
Ariel Helwani? Me?
That's your name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
I can go get them right now, and they don't.
Please, do you want to squash this right now?
You want to.
No, because I have the most respect.
Oh, those fighting words.
No, I mean like squash the beef between us.
Oh, I thought you were talking about fighting.
No, absolutely not.
Come here. Give me a hug. Okay. Like that? Yeah? Huh?
All day. I'll take it. It may all just be a joke, but if one of the UFC's scariest fighters grabs you by the throat, your interview has spiraled out of control. And Rampage is infamous for another interview of his with a female reporter that also got physical, but in a very different way.
Well, is there any potential for you to get into acting?
Yo, I'm actually, you know what I'm saying, teaming up with John Singleton right now.
Really?
As we speak.
Very cool. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I was already supposed to be in a couple of movies, but you know, the Ultimate Fighter keep me busy. UFC, every time a big movie come up, I got to do something for the UFC. The story of my life.
Absolutely.
The conversation started pretty normal until the reporter teased him, and Rampage kind of took it a bit too far.
Well, I have an idea for a romantic comedy starring you and me.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's about a wrestler who falls in love with a ring girl. What do you think? You in?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Am I in?
You're in. Let's do it right now. Cut. Okay, there's only one more. Now, if you could get into the octagon with any celebrity, who would it be?
Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu. All right, there we have it. All right, well, that's all we have with Rampage Jackson for the day.
In the end, it took the producer's awkward arm on Rampage's shoulder to separate the two. Otherwise, it may have continued even longer. And in an interview with Sports Illustrated afterwards, the reporter Heather Nichols basically said she found the whole thing super uncomfortable and just tried to stay professional throughout. Speaking of professional, one fighter who rarely is Sean Strickland. He's always outspoken, in a brawl, or getting into trouble, just like his political rant against a Canadian media member ahead of UFC 297.
I did want to ask, you're in Toronto. Welcome, glad to hear it. It's been great.
Are you Canadian?
Of course I am.
Are you part of the opposition? Are you?
I don't know how to phrase that.
You got like, yeah.
Well, I did want to ask.
Did you vote for Trudeau?
I'm not going to say.
And let me tell you something right now. If a man says he's not going to say, like if you ask him, did you vote for Biden? He's like, well, I'm not going to say. That's none of your business. He voted for Biden.
Sean, I'm glad you've had great experiences.
So this is what I'm talking about, you guys. The enemy of Canada. All right.
That's what it's got to be. It's got to be.
It looked like the reporter was trying to catch Strickland out on something he had said years prior, and it didn't go according to plan.
I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I'd...
Oh, look, another, I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone says...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse...
Are you gay?
Can I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking, this is the part of, are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak man, dude. You're part of the problem. You elected Justin Trudeau. Like, when he sees the bank accounts, like you're just pathetic. And the fact that you have no backbone, and has he shut down your country and seized bank accounts? You ask me some stupid shit like that, go yourself. Move the on, man.
That really answered the question.
And the heat towards the interviewer didn't stop there.
10 years ago, to be was a mental illness, and now all of a sudden people like you have weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your bull you're peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right, chicks have. The world's not saying that. World's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could at school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference.
Being labeled the enemy of the world probably isn't what that guy had in mind when he started asking Strickland questions. And another pre-fight interview where the reporter got shut down was when Jon Jones was questioned about his failed drug test.
How come this is the third time we're actually taking focus from the fighters and the fights and talking about what you have in your body, whether it's a picogram or a pictogram? Why have you tested now positive?
Next question, please. Thank you.
The reporter was asking why Jones had tested positive again for a trace amount of the anabolic steroid turinabol, the same substance he had failed for the year prior. She was trying to find out why Jones's suspension was comparatively smaller to those in a similar position. But both Dana and Jon obviously weren't fans of discussing this publicly.
Dana White, tell me, why are we still having this guy here instead of seeing a 2-year suspension like Frank Mir?
Why are we still what? What's the question? Hold on. Hold on.
Sit down.
I'm sitting down.
I want to take the mic from her. Better questions. Better journalism.
I don't understand what your question is.
Is there a real
reason?
Better journalism. Better journalism. You suck. Better journalism.
Hold on. Let him talk. What's the question?
What's the reason for Jon Jones having a picogram in his body?
That's been the topic of this entire. Yeah, well, I told you, like I told Ariel, talk to Jeff Nowitzki about that. If you want to know the science of what's going on, talk to him.
All right.
And when the reporter then asked a strange question to Cyborg, Jones was quick to jump on it.
Yes. I can see you don't have that energy in your face. Are you affected about this?
About what?
All this mess.
You don't have energy in your face?
I have a lot of energy. I can fight now.
Who is this girl? Who are you?
Hey, I have a lot of energy.
Where did you come from?
All right, next question. Who's got the next question?
But perhaps the most hilarious case of a UFC interview gone wrong is when Chael Sonnen was on Off the Record with Michael Landsberg. Within just seconds, the interview descended into chaos.
Those words from Chael Sonnen after beating Brian Stann at UFC 136 on October the 8th. Now, just over 5 weeks later, Chael, you've backed down. Is that the truth?
What?
You've backed down. Didn't you say that the offer has expired and you're no longer willing to throw out those terms?
You might want to take the bass out of your tone. I'm not sure you know who you're talking to here, but I've never backed down from anything, so check your facts.
The interviewer then began speaking about something completely unrelated, and Chael didn't miss the opportunity to insult him.
But what are you talking about? You're combining stories here. Where do we go from me defending my championship for the first time, issuing a challenge for my second championship title defense, to all of a sudden the great Chael Sonnen is back down? Who's doing your facts there?
I heard that you said the offer had expired.
I heard it expired. Well, now you're hearing from the champion himself.
Okay.
The offer has not expired. What are you even talking about? What offer? Should we just redo this, or do you just want to go on the air and look like a fool? What is it you're even talking about?
Chael had clearly lost his patience, because he wasn't giving the interviewer much at all.
Let's clarify this, because you and I have been debating before we went on the air. What is your offer and challenge to Anderson Silva?
Well, I would love to clarify it, and if I had enough respect for you and your show, I would probably do it, but I don't.
So
do you have a question for me? Let's do that. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but I am truly flabbergasted by this. Are we doing an interview, or what are we doing here? What is it you want to talk about? You're bringing up a fight from 2 years ago?
Oh,
I don't understand the relevance. I'm happy to talk about it, but certainly if you follow this sport at all, you know that these questions have all been covered. So, I mean, if this is your first day in MMA, I guess, do you know what the octagon is? Have you heard of that before? I'm sorry, let me calm down. I don't want to give you nightmares tonight.
And why would I possibly have nightmares? Okay, so address that as
watching a guy out of control, just losing control over here.
So you think you're totally in control at this point?
Control of what?
Of yourself.
Am I master of my domain? Sure.
I would make the assumption you would do your best anytime in the octagon, would you not? So that doesn't really tell me much. So you're leaving now because of what reason? It kind of has that Mike Tyson feel back in the day. Perhaps you should do a few sit-ups as well.
And if you want another wild story in MMA, check out my deep dive on Brian Ortega's story from childhood gang crime to UFC stardom.